So yeah, Laura, I feel like the last check-in we had, you were like, I'm earning 120K and my head's ready to explode and like what happens now? And um, so obviously this has, exceeded your expectations. And I just want to make sure recording is working. Yes. Um, I kind of want to start at the beginning of your story and just sort of quickly, talk about where you came into Dent2X, where your business was at, and what's happened. What was the road to this level of income?
Yeah. So I had done freelancing for about 8 years, and was making, around 50K, which was fine. But then I got an opportunity to work as a marketing manager for one of my clients, and I took it. Um, did that for 2 years and realized this was not my cup of tea. I wanted to go back to freelancing, but I had gotten used to making more money. And so I wanted to figure out how to, at least maintain that. So that was why I, joined Dent2X. And I had done no marketing before. So this was, a whole new thing with marketing. Had done marketing for companies, but not for myself.
Yeah.
For me, it was mainly LOIs. That was the ticket for me.
And talk about what industry, what niches, who are your
Okay.
clients?
So I sort of fell into tech and software, not because that was where I particularly wanted to be, but I just had, a lot of referrals coming in. And so I thought, well, hey, I'll just run with it. So I started targeting mostly SaaS companies. And yeah, that's just kind of where it's gone. So it's been good.
And so did you start like with ones in your region, or you were looking nationally, or?
Yeah, I started looking locally and then quickly realized that the money was not in the South.
Aha.
Yeah, so my clients are all over the place. I have, a couple in California, DC, just all over. So yeah, I didn't limit myself, you know, regionally at all.
And so what was the, basics of what was your LOI formula for reaching out to these
So
people?
my secret, there was two elements that I feel like really jacked up the response rate. One was I super personalized it. So I found a piece of content that the person had written or contributed to or something. So it was more about the person rather than just the company as a whole. And then the person I was emailing. And then second of all, because I was targeting companies that fit the exact client profile of work that I had already done, and I could say, I've worked for these people that they knew, and did this piece and this piece and da 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 da. So it was a lot of social proof just right in the LOI, which I felt made a big difference.
Yeah. Here's how I made a difference for your similar company.
Yeah,
Yeah, is often just for the win.
yeah,
Uh, it's like this is the easy way to do this.
yeah,
And I get people who are like, well, I have 4 different types of things I want to do, and I want to go here and there, and I don't want to be tied down to one niche, and I want to be a generalist, and I just want to say that it's harder
yeah.
than if you just mine your furrow that you're, go down the row you're hoeing. I think it is so much easier. And
Mhm.
often I really have students that I just kind of can't talk into it. They're just like, no, I need to go here and there and here and there. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to make this go fast, and easy. So did you evolve what you charge, how you charge, what kind of
Oh, yes.
you do?
I raised my rates by 3 times what I was previously charging. So yeah, so now my floor. Well, that was one reason that it was so much easier to make more money as I stopped doing those small projects. I think Amy is really good at this. She has that $1,000 minimum, and I'm like, I'm gonna have that too. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, so I feel like that attracts better clients because you eliminate, all the cheapo people. And then it's just easier because you're not sending out invoices for $300 here and $200 there. So helps you
Yeah.
maximize better.
There's just a ton of people out there who ding you and they're like, I want you to write a blog post. And I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
right.
just no.
Right.
Yeah. And I think, every client analysis we do in Den2X at the beginning, that is what we conclude. We look at people's sheet of who all did you work for in the last year, and there's all these little $300, $500, $800 clients, and that's all you earn from them all year. And like, just doesn't add up to a business. Well, I'm really relating to this because, I ended my staff writing job at 60K and I was like, well, that's the income I need to replace, so I always didn't have a sort of poverty, oh, if I can make 25, 30K and eke out a living, I was never in that boat because like self-support of a family of five. So I I was always focused on, this needs to earn a lot. And I think it's amazing how different that mindset is. I just took an email this morning from someone who was like, I can't seem to get more than a penny. I am forced to take jobs that are only a penny a word. And I'm like, no one's forcing you to do that. That's a choice you've made to accept really, really low pay, and a mindset that that's okay. Why don't I just scan down this list of questions that I got. So because you're at such a high income level, I'd love to hear about like work-life balance and prioritizing and time, and how do you still do marketing, or at this point is it kind of inbound, or talk about sort of how you organize your time and your day.
Yeah. So I had, especially because the writing was really taking off while I was at my full-time job. So I had to get really, really disciplined about this. And I felt like that helped me a lot when, stuff started really taking off. I schedule everything, including lunch, including breaks, including laundry, in a Google Calendar. So I have my entire day broken down. Now, caveat, it can be stressful when, something happens to mess up that schedule. But the thing I like about it is you can drag and drop. So I'm like always rearranging things and moving it around, and I need to do this, so I'll just put this here. And I've learned to schedule margin in as well that I can then, plug in where I need to. But I feel like that has really saved me because I could never get all of this done if I, didn't have that.
Time blocking was like a life changer for me, and now our family is using the Cozy app for all of the kid coordinating, all of the, Ari needs to go to trapeze class, and then Ailey has a doctor appointment, and I'm going to go do homework help and at the library on Thursday at 4, like all of that stuff is now in one place so that we don't end up with conflicts where like I see my husband posting something, like I actually made a mistake on this recently because I switched whether I was reading Torah or leading a service to a different date, and now my husband's shooting a wedding at the same time, so I don't know what our kids are doing. But usually we can avoid that by using the app. And what I love about putting it in is then at the end of the day, I just review. And if I haven't, all the items I haven't done get moved to the next day. So it keeps them from just sort of sliding off of my priority list. And I leave Friday open. I try and book nothing on Friday. And that's my catch-up day of whatever has been pushing through the week is Friday, is my deal. But yeah, I love the time blocking. I need to leave more gap space. That's a really good idea. It's like more open space. And I'd say the common thing for everybody is like, be more realistic about how much you can get done in a day. I know I'm not.
Yeah. I mean, I make that mistake a lot. I'm like, that'll only take me 2 hours. And
yeah. So one question Kimberly had was how long did it take you to like replace your income and then to go from like there to where you are now? So you quit the job, the full-time job, you were freelancing a little on the side of it. And how long did it take you to replace your income? What was the
so it was really, really fast. I remember I was about to lose my mind there because I wanted to give my employer, because they were great, and I wanted to keep the bridge intact. So I wanted to give them a month's notice because I was the marketing department for the company. So I was like, I'll stay on for another month. But I was like, how am I going to do this? Because it just took off so quickly. And I mean, it really was, done to X, because I didn't know, how to get business as a freelancer before, other than sit around and wait for referrals. And so
Wow.
I sent out, I remember I sent out 100 LOIs and started getting a bunch of work.
Oh, so
And
you did 100 LOI challenge.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you send out 100 pieces of marketing.
Yeah.
People when I tell people to do that, they're just like every jaw drops. But it's
Yeah.
like, if you do a lot of marketing, what can happen? And so I'm sorry, it took how long to go to I replaced my income?
So I replaced my income before I left. So
Okay.
I was at 50K.
Uh-huh.
I was earning my over 50K in my freelancing while I was
Oh my God. You and
yeah.
Evan Jensen need to talk, because that was his scene where he was really earning two full-time incomes, and then he dropped that one finally.
Yeah, because I'm not good at risk taking. It makes
Same.
me so stressed out. So I was like, I want to make sure that I can do this.
I love that you said that, because I think people think of freelancing as really risky, and I'm a super risk averse person too. Yeah, had a husband with a seizure disorder, needed to feed three kids, and yeah, I was looking for retainers and looking, yeah, to start every month with 5 or 8 or 10 or 14 grand already booked as we went on. And yeah, I wasn't looking for any. I would hear people say, what do you do during the down months? And I was like, I don't have down months. That's not a thing. That can't happen. And so how long did it take to then go to 50 to where you are now?
let's see. So it was not quite a year um, to get to 120K. Um, and then this year, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed I'm going to hit 150. I'm on track, but anything can happen. So I don't want to count my chickens too quickly,
But that's the projection.
yeah.
Yeah, you did my formula where you take your first quarter and multiply by 4. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what you're going to make, likely. And so the other question I just had, and then we'll go to Emily, is what types of writing, what types of projects do you do?
So I feel like this was key also, because those small projects were killing me, and I was so stressed out doing those small projects because the research that you have to do for them is just the same amount as writing a blog post. So and I'm still trying to figure out how to get more of these types of projects. So I'm definitely not 100% there yet. But especially last quarter, I did 3 white papers, and that was like the best thing ever. So I'm really trying to do more of that. I have one client that they just crank out white papers like crazy. So
The dream.
yeah.
What kind of length on the white papers?
About 2,500 words, 3,000 words, something like that.
So 5-pager kind
yeah.
of thing, 5-7 pages. Cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, advice for people who are struggling.
Yeah.
What would you like to tell people?
My 3 big recommendations are: A, jack up your rates. When I jacked up my rates, I did it just based on what I thought the client would go for. And then if I knew they wouldn't go for it, oh well, they can leave, and then no small projects. It took me a long time to learn that because I hated to say no, but it's super important. And then, yeah, trying to do those bigger value projects like white papers and case studies, because your internal hourly rate, you can make $300-400 an hour that way versus, blog posts, you just can't charge that much.
Yeah, the high end is $500 or $600 for maybe a 2,000 word post or something, or 1,000, 1,500 words. Yeah, I think of, even at the high end of blogging rates, I think of blogging as kind of the entry level work of our business, unless you're doing it in real specialized situations. like I'm ghosting for someone on Forbes and I have a track record of getting like 1 million views on a Forbes post and I can charge a lot as a result, like where you've done their exact type of, traffic they want. Amy, I don't know if that it's COZI is what it is. So how many clients do you have at any given time, Cecilia? Oh, you said between 4 and 8.
Yeah.
Cool. And Amy says increasing rates made the biggest for me and also for Mandy. Have you been, yeah, you've been able to get more white pages. Yes to everything you're saying, Laura, says Mandy. I actually only have 3 retainer clients. Interesting. Delia says, did you pitch a white paper right off the top for clients, or did they want a smaller project to start? I get this question a lot. Can you get a white paper sort of off the bat from people?
Yes, and I used to think you have to start with a small project, but by accident, I discovered my biggest client that I have right now, the one that I do 3 white papers a quarter for. I just started out right off the bat with a white paper and blog post series. And another client, the new client, this is a cold client, like I'm sending LOIs to get these people so they don't know me from Adam. They were interested in a larger project, and I was like, I'm going to go for it. So we did a big project, like right off the bat. So I've stopped suggesting, let's start with a small project, because like, hey, why not just jump in,
Mm-hmm.
As long as your contract is good and you have, good feeling about the person and of course, but anyway, yeah, I think you can jump right in. I mean, if it was like, $10,000 or something like that, then maybe not. But I feel like anything $5,000 and below, for most of these, especially bigger companies, it's not really that much money to them. So
that perspective is so important. People they're thinking $10,000, but you need to benchmark that against the cost of, say, a billboard, TV ads, print ads, radio ads, doing online, Google ads, and understand that like we are the best deal in marketing. We are the best deal there is, even at those kind of top rates. And yeah, I think Anne Marie's on the call and she was like, I don't know, I can't get above 50 to 75 cents a word. Stop thinking a word is the biggest tip I can give you. Is like, stop thinking earning per word and start thinking about selling client value. Thinking about the value to the client is what changes everything. And obviously getting out of writing for publications, if you're just doing only publications, and finding more company pubs and trade pubs and, more stable and good paying publications. All right, this is amazing. Maybe we'll circle back and do some more, but I want to get over to Emily.